And what is going on, Busy Bariatrics? Today's episode is a special one because we're talking about something that doesn't happen nearly enough in the bariatric space: real community, real connection, and real conversations. Because a lot of people think bariatric surgery is the finish line. You get the surgery, the weight falls off, life gets better, and everything works itself out. But if you've been around this journey for more than 5 minutes, you already know that's not how it goes. The real transformation happens in the years after surgery. That's where the habits, the mindset, the nutrition, the training, and the community actually determine what your life looks like long term. And that's exactly why I'm excited about this conversation today, because joining me is Betsy Dovec, the powerhouse behind the Body by Transformation Retreat happening May 1st and 2nd in Orlando, Florida. And the theme this year is the butterfly effect. And just like there's butterflies, we're going to have some bees there because Busy Bariatrics is proud to be one of the sponsors. So today we're going to talk about the retreat, but then we're going to really go deeper into some of the conversations that the bariatric world doesn't always have openly, from surgery selection, GLP-1 medications, revisions, cosmetic surgery, and weight regain. So if you're on this journey or considering it or trying to figure out what comes next, you're going to want to hear this one. Betsy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited. I'm extremely excited that we are partnering with Busy Bariatrics for so many reasons.
It's really cool because I feel like we've both known each other and we've been like circling and been in the same neighborhoods, but we've never really gotten a chance to do a lot of stuff together on this. So
absolutely. I feel this exact same way. I have watched you for a very long time. I've seen you at the events. You're obviously a very successful patient. You put it out there. You bring that male vibe, which I think is sometimes missing. As you know, you're in that whole space. But the thing that I found to be the most intriguing about you, and why I was like, all right, enough already. Just DM him. Just slip into his DMs and see what's the worst that could happen. Is that you are somebody that you work hard, you have a day job, you've obviously been successful in your journey, but you decided that, you know what, I'm going to start my own business because I believe in this so much that I'm going to do the really much more. I think, like I've said before, I've underestimated how hard it is to be an entrepreneur in this space with the waxing and waning of volumes and so many different things. And you decided, hey, I know that this was a white space. This was something that didn't exist, that I needed to exist when I was doing this. And so I want to pay it forward, and I'm going to do this in my basement at 9 p.m. on a Monday night because I believe in it so much. I was like, I have to connect with this person. This person is clearly somebody that is just so passionate about this that I needed to get to know you.
And it's a cool mutual love and admiration because I remember you coming on OSLP's podcast. This has to be like 4 or 5 years ago. And you always had this like great high energy, but you also had a very clear vision of what it takes to be successful as a bariatric patient. But also you are a lot like me that you probably don't realize of, like, you like to eliminate excuses of, hey, if nutrition's a big deal after bariatric surgery, we're going to get some of the best registered dietitians into our program. If workout, movement, or mindset is important, we're going to get the best people in the business to get this. And it's been cool to watch you go from working in a bigger hospital setting to opening up everything you did. But I think we can both agree, like, entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. And, you know, like, you are a surgeon at the end of the day. Like, you have a lot of stuff going on yourself that takes a lot of your time. So just humor anyone who's listening and doesn't know who you are. Give like a quick elevator of who you are.
Sure.
But then also, why did you choose to put a retreat on top of this?
Thank you. Yeah, so my name is Dr. Betsy Dovec. I am Dr. Dovec on Instagram. And like you said, I am the owner, founder, CEO of Body by Bariatrics. So I fell in love with bariatric surgery the first time I saw it. I was a medical student. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I'm from West Virginia. So I went to med school in a small West Virginian, it's called Marshall University.
They have made a movie about it.
Yeah, We Are Marshall. I was there when they were filming that, actually, in 2003, 2004 era, and they came out with it, I think, in like 2005, 6, something like that. Yes, Matthew McConaughey was like wandering the streets of Huntington, West Virginia when I was there. And
what a time to be there, right?
It was. I had this like vintage shirt from We Are Marshall, and it's so like just worn. It's a worn shirt, that's for sure. So I think that, I was there, and I was groomed to think that I would do primary care because 95% of all who graduated from Marshall go on to do primary care. And anyway, saw bariatric surgery and I was like, whoa, 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 what is this? Like, what an amazing thing. Like we all go to med school to, I want to, help somebody. I want to, change lives and this sort of thing. And then when you see it and you're like, whoa, this one is something that people are like, thank you for saving my life. I've lost over 100 pounds. I'm no longer on diabetes medications. Like, on post-op day one, like, what is this? And so I went through general surgery. I went through fellowship. I got my first big job in Baltimore, Maryland, and I moved there. I was there for the greater part of a decade. And then I was recruited still as a hospital employed surgeon, like you said, to Florida. I was there for a year and I was like, oh my gosh, if you're going to do it now. And so I quit. I quit a very comfortable job, just a job where things were good and you're replicating success and there's confetti and everyone's happy. And then you're like, but I'm unsettled. Like, I want more. I know I want to practice a very specific way and I'm an employee and I need to really just go in and just go all in. And that is scary and lonely and hard. It's just, like you said, not for the faint of heart. And here we are in April of 2026. I will have been open for 3 years. So just grinding every day.
You're on 3 years as well?
Yeah.
So March are, as this episode comes out, actually, this weekend is the 3-year anniversary of Busy Bariatrics. I did not realize we both opened up at about the same time.
Yes. I kind of thought that. Yeah. Just seeing you come out and man, like, I'll tell you, like, I know people who are listening are obviously fans of yours, but like, just even, there's marketing, there's operations, there's finance, there's all these things to a business, but like your website and your branding and all of it is it's really good for this to be, and I guess it's not really like a side hustle. I feel like this is like, you're like all in.
It's a labor of love. And I will say, Michelle, our graphic designer, M. Walker Designs, I'll give her a shout out. She always loves hearing that. But it really is a labor of love. It was something that I really believed in from the beginning of, I saw so many horror stories of online fitness coaches who claimed they either knew bariatrics or bariatrics in the community who claimed they knew how to get fitness. Mm-hmm. And as someone who had a background as a high school football coach, has run strength and conditioning programs, but also teaches during the day, a lot of the skill set that I had came naturally. But I think what goes unheard of or unsaid is a lot what we both dealt with is entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It's very lonely. It can be isolating at times, and you don't realize what you bite off and chew a lot of it. Like, it's all of a sudden I went from like, okay, well, if I coached in another person's program, all I'd have to do is get client results. When you're the boss, you kind of have to, like, you got to bring people in, you got to keep people in, and then you also have to make sure, like, what does your profit margin look like so the lights stay on? We got to pay employees, we got to make sure the website looks good, and it's all these other things. So what was it like opening up your own practice? Because everything looks phenomenal.
Thanks.
And I remember, I forget where I heard it, but you really did have a clear vision of what you wanted to open and what you wanted to do in your own practice.
Yeah, so, you hear a lot of people say this whole phrase of access to care. And I've talked about this a lot. And access to care means there are so many people that A, don't have insurance coverage, B, if they don't, they have exclusions to it, or even if they do have insurance coverage, can they afford the out-of-pocket expense? It's expensive. Maybe there's not a program in your neck of the woods that you can go to in your geography. So that's, again, there's a lot of issues that are limiting who gets surgery. And if this is the one that we should be screaming about from the hilltops, is that bariatric surgery is the most effective tool that exists to lose weight and to keep it off. And so my vision was, I saw the writing on the wall years ago, even before COVID, that bariatric surgery is incredibly expensive in a hospital setting. So, and that's because, if I don't know how much you know about your EOBs or your explanation of benefits, but there are
literally
entities.
Nothing, but like for the average viewer, I think I fall closer to that. So walk me through as if I have like a 5th grade education.
I would love to, because I think this is super, super, super important to understanding, okay, I want to do bariatric surgery. Now what? Okay, so there are 3 different entities that have to get paid on the day of surgery. And those are, number 1, anesthesia. And that's separate from B, the surgeon or the professional fee. So that's Body by Bariatrics in this scenario. And then C is the facility. And the facility can then be either a hospital or it can be a surgery center. And so a hospital facility has contracts with the payers, which is Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, United, and Aetna. And so when you have a contract with them, you can dictate that. Like in Florida, I'll speak for this, you can get paid upwards of $65,000 to $70,000 just for the hospital. And the rest of us make about 1/80th of that, 180 of that. And so we don't really make much money on anesthesia or the surgeon facility or the surgeon fee, but the facility makes a ton of money. And so because of that, if you're an employer, let's say you're Walmart or let's say you're American Airlines or Home Depot or something like that, and you're looking at all of your expenses and you see, okay, if I opt into including bariatric surgery coverage in our benefit outline in our plan, and I see, ooh, if somebody gets that surgery, we do that. That means everybody's premium gets jacked way up. Or I can just be like, we're going to exclude it. So because of that, because of money, a lot of people exclude it because of how expensive the facilities are. And that's just the bottom line. That's just it. And so I was like, I need to cut out the middleman of the hospital, have the same amazing quality and experience, and even myself as the same surgeon doing your surgery and probably the same supporting staff. But I want to build a surgery center where I am happy doing it for a fraction of the cost. I still make out, the patients make out, and now you're able to go to the employers and they can opt into the benefit because it's now more cost effective and it's a contained fixed cost. So that was always kind of the vision. And I said on these things about all these ways that we could do it. And then I was sort of like, I don't know if it was midlife crisis or what it was, but I'm like, it's either now or never. You're either going to tolerate this and shut your mouth, or you're going to literally bet the farm on this and quit your job and do it. And that's how it happened.
If it feels any better, from your Matthew McConaughey Marshall story, we were an undergrad at about the same time. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, go there because you can absolutely see this is what like Philly Public and teaching kids will do to your book.
This
and
is also what owning a med spa does for you. So I did also open a med spa. That thing does not turn a profit, but guess what? It keeps my face looking decent. So
I may need to see if I can get a referral or something.
Absolutely. On-demand Botox at any moment, at any time. Just walking by. Just let's go, guys.
Just grip it and rip it. That's awesome. But yeah, I think there's something like you hit that like middle age part where it's like you kind of ask like, is either this all it, or am I just going to be a cog in the machine, or do I want to build a machine? And I think the cool part is like you have this clear vision of like you understand where the exact issues are in the bariatric progress, and you've really eliminated a lot of that in the sense that like you have now this streamlined, efficient way to help patients to make sure that the resources they're getting to the right people. What does it look like if they're going to sign up and have surgery with Body by Bariatrics?
Yeah, so that's exactly it. You want to keep it as frictionless, easy as possible. As you probably absolutely know, the first step is typically one of the hardest. It's like, all right, I'm living this way. I'm comfortable, like day in, day out. Do I want to do this? I don't know. So when you decide that you want to do it, we want to make it easy. Okay. Click on the Get Started Now button when you're ready to get started. Okay, you do that. And then we text. This might sound nuts, but one of the biggest reasons I really wanted my own thing is I wanted to be able to text people. And you might be like, well, why is that hard? Because when you're in a health system, they're always worried about HIPAA. And I'm not saying that we don't like you totally abide by all of that. And so because of that, you got to use patient portals. Patient portals are always like, I don't remember my password. Where's this app? I don't know how to download it. I'm older. I'm not tech savvy. And so you really can't communicate easily with people. And so because of that, I think that's a big issue. And so I have an ability to text you at 7 days a week. I'll write you back and I'll text you. And I think people feel like, man, that makes it a lot easier. And so you get started. First step is if you have insurance, I will always verify to see if you have any benefits, if you have coverage for bariatric surgery. If yes, great. Here's your potential good faith estimate. You're out of pocket. If not, here's our self-pay pricing. And then you'll do a consultation. If you're doing insurance, all the lovely checklist items, psych eval, sleep studies, any of those things you might need to do. And then ultimately you'll have your final consultation. I really, really focus on education, preparation, setting expectations, and then you'll get your pre-op medical clearance, you'll have your surgery, and then I'm especially obsessed with the aftercare. And that's, one of the biggest things that I think is in our secret sauce is that there's a phrase like sleeve them and leave them. Like nobody wants to feel like I'm just hurting people through. Like what is the aftercare? And we team up with Laura Grabo. We do small group therapy every Monday night. We do virtual support groups. We're doing big in-person meetups. We have a registered dietitian. We really do offer a comprehensive, okay, like these are a lot of the things. And one of the things that we are missing is exercise, is really somebody that can understand movement. And that's where I felt like you were just a natural missing link for us, that someone that I'm not going to reinvent that. That's not what I do. So, but I want to give people the resource of what you guys do so that they can see like, oh yeah, this guy is me. He gets me. He is going to be really wanting to give me something of value. And that's what you're saying, that you really want to make sure that you do for people that are spending their money and their time on you.
Yeah, and I think it's so awesome to see that you care about the aftercare. This is always my hot take, because I think a lot of people, when they get bariatric surgery, they assume that the surgeon is going to have this fully process in place for them. Mm-hmm. When in reality, this is where I'm kind of a jerk. I'm kind of like, look, the surgeon's job, I truly believe, is to do the most efficient surgery and to get you as healthy as possible to recover from the surgery. The aftercare, I really do believe, is a whole separate thing. But what's awesome about what you've done is you actually incorporate that in and bring in the experts that have it. Because, bariatric surgery is not easy. And to expect you to be a mindset expert, a personal trainer, a nutritionist, a registered dietitian, that's physically impossible. But, if you have an amazing surgeon and you have this vision of, here's everything we know makes it successful on the back end, and you're partnering with those people, it kind of almost allows the Avengers, where every superhero has their own skill set and goes through. It's awesome to see that you do that. And I'll just say it, we're both kind of crazy in the sense of, if you just did that, you'd have a phenomenal process, but you're also hosting a retreat. Just humor me. Why? Because I know what a schedule of a surgeon is. I know what a schedule of a CEO is. Just walk me through. Make it make sense.
Sometimes I'm sure you're like, yeah, why? Why, Rob? That's a great one. So no, okay. So I have attended events. When I was in Baltimore, our big thing was back up to 2013 when I started there, and they were doing probably around 200 surgeries a year. And they said, we do a big gathering every year, typically in December around the holidays, where we bring people into this dimly lit hospital conference room and we stand around with our crystal light in these cheesy little plastic cups. And we're going to talk about, oh, who are you? So I walk into this event. Again, I had just recently graduated from fellowship. I had only done a few surgeries. Most of the patients in the room were not mine. And I was getting to know people like, oh, hi. They were saying the most, again, just astounding things. If you think about it, oh, I lost 156 pounds with the gastric bypass. Oh, that's nice to meet you. I did. And I'm like, whoa, this is cool. This is major. So the very next year, I'm like, let's make it a little bit bigger. And let's do a little bit of I'll be the MC. I'll put your before picture up. Let's hype this. Let's have some fun. Let's walk this red carpet. It kept getting bigger, bigger, bigger. We moved out of the hospital. We moved into an event center, sold out the biggest event center in all of Baltimore, Maryland, which held 1,700 people came to this thing. 1,700 came to this event. And it was incredibly expensive. It was insane. And we had this huge video production on a stage, lights, cameras, videos, all kind. Before it was like a cheesy PowerPoint with a before picture. Now it was like professionally edited, like before stories. Like it was incredible. And so then COVID happened because we were going to go to Towson University, which held like in their arena was going to be our next step. And then that happened. So then basically, just to get to it, like I started to shift gears and I saw that there was something so cool about bringing people together. And I do, like Laura always says, like community is treatment. And it's like people come in as strangers, but they leave as friends. And they didn't know how much they needed to know that they weren't alone, no matter where they are. Oh, I have some weight regain. Oh, I'm pre-op. I don't know if I want to do this. I'm in the honeymoon period. I'm doing pretty good. And I just don't think people know it. And so this past September, we put on something called the Body by Mindset Retreat. And that was all about one topic, breaking free from shame. So it was a heavy thing and we put it out there and we sold out instantly. So we had 150 people that came, that was selling out for that event, and they came together and it was very powerful. It was really great. And then I'm like, there's still something here. So let's do it bigger and let's bring in more disciplines. And it's not just about mindset. That is still an integral part, but I wanted to bring in again the movement piece, the motivation piece, the community piece, the mindset piece, the meals, all the fun stuff, but really keep it more centered on that butterfly effect, about how a small decision can make such a big impact on your life. And I hope that it's bigger than just Body by Bariatrics. It's kind of agnostic to that. I want it to be something where people come from all around the country and they're like, wow, that was amazing. And I'm going to leave better than when I came. And maybe it's Pollyanna, but I just really think that we're going to be able to achieve that.
I think anytime that you can bring community together and you have people like yourself, Laura, and my team, people who actually like care in the community and really want to support and see everyone thrive, it just does well for everyone. And it's exciting because this event is going to be really awesome from what it looks like. What can someone who signs up for the retreat expect when they get there? Because I've already seen a couple glimpses of it and it looks awesome, but it's your baby just through this thing.
Sure. So I've started to slowly drip the agenda. I better probably put it out there on full blast. But so it's Friday, May 1st and Saturday, May 2nd. Friday, you arrive, 6 p.m. We start the festivities. We're doing a big welcome reception. And there's this really incredibly talented event planner. And sorry. And she is going to have some unbelievable surprises. Like she did my grand opening for our surgery center, which was the biggest night of my life. And she knew how special that was for me. And she did not disappoint. And so
the
from
pictures and video of that alone were like second to none. I was like, oh my goodness, this is almost like movie theater quality opening. I couldn't tell what was greater, the facility itself or like the premiere of it, but it was all amazing.
She just nailed. I'm not very good with like visualizing sometimes. Like I'm like just talking about like all these like adjectives and all these words and like the way I want people to feel. And she's like, I got you. Like this pink confetti blaster and the pink ribbon and the pink carpet. And she's like, she is big and she is beautiful. And it was just like, oh, and then like the pink lips that you could lay on. It was just like really cool. So she is just, again, exceedingly talented. So she's doing these ridiculous details. So like the last event we did, the mindset retreat, she had this like person that walked around with a selfie camera and it just perfectly airbrushed you. It was like really amazing. And just like the details. So that's Friday. We're going to have a cocktail hour. There's going to be lots of food, like just heavy hors d'oeuvres, lots of photo ops, lots of mingling. I'm going to have a DJ. So just like tons of like party favors and all kinds of cool stuff. So that'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. After that, we go immediately over to the adult pool, which is really big. And we're going to have a pool party into the night after the welcome reception. So the party continues. That's pretty much it for Friday. Saturday, you guys are going to start the day at around sunrise, around 7 a.m. with a workout on the lawn. And after that, we're going to open up the exhibition area, the kind of vendor area at Marketplace at 8 a.m. And we have Devotion Nutrition, who's going to be making protein waffles. We'll have the Profi. We'll have you guys there. We've really also very deliberately kept it exclusive to each thing. So there's not going to be a million different vitamin companies or a million different, like there's one protein, there's one exercise, there's one nutrition, there's one like cosmetic. Like we wanted to make sure that just, it was very it wasn't overwhelming. And then the day starts at 9 a.m. And I'll just say that I'm working with this like Hollywood level production company that we are doing a very cinematic, dramatic video that's going to set the tone for the whole kind of Saturday intensive session, where it's really capturing the whole concept of the butterfly. And then we're going to have a lot of speakers. We're going to have credentialed experts. We're going to have panels. We're going to have patients. We're going to really have time for people to interact and get emotional. And yeah, we have a lot of different sessions planned on, many things. And then after that, the party will continue. It's just going to keep on going. So lots of time to reflect and meditate and think and visualize really just your best self and keep it going.
Such an awesome experience. And the location that you have in Orlando is also really, really cool where we're going to be at. Talk to me a little bit about like how you chose this location and how it kind of is going to tie everything together.
Yeah, so the last time the welcome reception was at my surgery center in the parking lot. And again, Laura, who is, her name is Laura Lawton with Bash, the event planning company. She's a miracle worker. She can basically like just transport this whole entire parking lot into like this party area. But we decided we wanted people to feel like a retreat. And so they could come from out of town. They could have hotels. Everything was at one spot. Last time we went to a country club for the Saturday session. It was really lovely. It was nice. But this is, a true retreat, a place to work out. There's a spa, there's a golf course, there's an exercise area, there's multiple pools. There's an adult pool, there's a kid pool, there's a lap pool, there's tons of space, tons of different restaurants throughout, tons of different places that you could just mingle and connect and just have a conversation with somebody, have a cup of coffee with somebody. So anyway, I just wanted all in one spot was really how we found it. And it's called the Rose and Shingle Creek Resort and Spa. And it can hold 10,000 people. It's huge. It's a huge, huge thing. And it's right here in Orlando. It's very, very close to Universal Studios and even Disney. So if you want to make a vacation out of it too, you could.
It's all the best parts of the area and it's in a good location and it's absolutely gorgeous. When you have people come through this, what experience do you want them to walk away with coming away from your retreat?
I think more than anything, and single thing I do in my professional life and even personal life, I want people to leave with value. You are giving up your time, you're investing money, you are attending this thing with the hopes that again, you're going to leave better. Like you're going to I hear a sound bite, something that might motivate you, something that might be like, man, what a connection. Either like, I didn't know how much I needed this person or this service or even this protein powder. I don't know. I just want you to feel like I got something out of that. That was just really, really worth all of these aspects. And anything I do, I go into it with the hope like, all right, time is a currency. And you're like, I just hope that it's worth it because it is the most valuable currency that we have. So yeah, I just really hope that people leave feeling like this was great. We're also giving away to everybody that comes one of Kristen Willard's cookbooks. I told you about that. Some bariatric meal prep made easy. And so these goodie bags are unlike something you've seen before. Like they're pretty epic with the stuff we're putting in there.
I can't wait to see everything that's in there. And I'm pretty sure Busy Bariatrics is going to be slipping a couple good things in there.
Yay!
So definitely something very exciting. If someone is listening right now and they're still on the fence, I don't know why they would be, but like, what's the last thing you kind of want to say to them if they're listening to this and saying, hey, we want to get out there and we want to do this?
Well, right now, the price right now is $199 per ticket. And if you are listening and you feel like cost is an issue for you, like, oh man, I'm just at the season of life that it's really, really sincerely tough. Like I wish I could go so bad, but I just can't afford it. Honestly, just text me. This might be crazy. I'm going to put my text in my cell. It's 407-543-0971. It's me and I will hook you up. Because I don't want anybody to not come because of that, because I know that the way karma works, you will pay it forward to me in a way that, or not even me, to somebody else that needs it. Just keep paying it forward. And I want you there. If you want to be there and that's a true thing, you're not trying to take advantage of me, I will hook you up.
Bets, I gotta tell you, like I've been doing this for 2 years. I've never had someone put their full digits out on
Yeah,
a podcast.
text me. I'll freaking do it. I know you're not going to abuse it. 407-543-0971. Text me. And if you're like, I want to come to the retreat, I heard you on the podcast with Rob. It was amazing. And I want to be there. And I'm just having a tough time right now. I'll see you May 1st and May 2nd in Orlando, Florida. Let's make it a reality.
Gang, you heard it right here from Dr. Betsy Dovec herself. I feel like we could do like 15 other segments, but at the same time, we have this exact perfect thing that we can do. And I think we got to bring you on for like a couple extra episodes.
Oh, I would love that. Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but can I talk about this summer, what we're doing?
Of course. Let's go.
Yeah.
You buried my lead because like we're doing your lead on this one. But if
people are still
listening, the data shows they kind of drop off here, but we'll go with it.
Well, your summer camp.
Yeah.
You had invited me and you said you were kind of surprised. You got a lot of interest in people that want to, again, pay it forward or speak or talk or just share hopefully their expertise. And I am just so excited to be doing that with you. Mine's going to be, I spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to think about what I wanted to talk about during that. And there will be a lot of like action items and takeaways from that. But I think it's going to be pretty like plain and simple. It's just going to be about how to get results. And I'm going to share like all of my thoughts on doing probably over 10,000 consults, over 7,000 surgeries. I've seen patterns and I recognize what really consistently makes a patient succeed in the long haul. Yes, there's going to be ebbs and flows of that whole thing, but I really want to talk about like kind of the secrets to success that I've learned over the years that I don't want to be secrets. So I'm super excited about sharing that when we do that this summer too.
I love it. I'm excited. And you may not realize this. You're the first surgeon I'm having on for summer camp. I've done summer camp for 3 years now. Normally, look at it as most of the people who come into summer camp, they've already had bariatric surgery.
Yeah.
But it's also been like this cool opportunity because you have so much data and so much of what we do in Busy Bariatrics is based on the fact, like, look, we take facts over feelings. When you look at the data objectively of what gets results after bariatric surgery, there's some undeniable truths. And I think the cool part is you're really going to be bringing from the surgeon's perspective, you're going to be bringing the insight and importance of what needs to bring it. It's also an opportunity that we're going to be able to chop it up and do everything. So I couldn't be more excited to have you as one of our speakers. I guess we are going to let a little bit more of the cat out of the bag on this one, gang. The next 7 weeks of the podcast are all either some of our guest speakers who are coming on, our keynote speakers, as well as some of our clients who have gotten amazing results from previous year summer camps who are still in our program, not because they haven't already hit their goal weight or are thriving, but they realize that this is a lifestyle change and we provide all the systems and resources that are needed, just like Betsy's program does for her patients. And that's why like this partnership is so cool. It's people who understand, one, the data that we need to analyze and what clearly gets results for our clients, but also how do we make sure that we have your success at the foremost of our planning and things. So I am so excited to have you on as a speaker this year.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped. I love the whole concept of it. And I mean, again, same with you, like that's a lot of work to coordinate and put it together and just, drum up the attention and interest in it. But I hope that if you're listening, you should sign up. I mean, I've seen the lineup and I mean, I could barely grab a spot. Like you were like, fill it up.
It's funny because Kylie, our one assistant coach, every year when I start to book, a phrase we use in Busy Bariatrics is you're really only bound by the limits of your imagination. And every year I always finish summer camp and say, what can we do to make it bigger and better? Last year, we got like Mike Milner, who is probably one of the lead experts on behavior change and the psychology of fat loss. He was one of our keynote speakers. And we also got Eric Bach, who has worked with Men's Health and Fitness, Women's Health and Fitness, Muscle Magazine.
Wow.
He's gotten results for the models who are on those shows consistently, as well as NFL players. He's my personal coach, but has gotten amazing results. They were two of our keynote speakers. I didn't think we were going to be able to top it this year. And to be able to have you, we also have Beth Ferrico, who is one of the lead experts on fat loss for women in menopause, as well as Jared Hamilton, who is one of the leading experts who has helped thousands of clients lose weight while managing emotional eating. And that's only some of the few ones. So if you're listening today and you listen to the end, and the real ones do, you always DM me the real ones. Buy your ticket now, because we're going to sell out. I'm telling you right now, we are going to sell out on this, just like Betsy is, because we put the best in front of you because we want to see those successes.
I love it.
So, with that in mind, Busy Bariatrics, if today's conversation helped you understand your journey a little better or gave you some clarity about what comes next, then do me a favor. Screenshot this episode, tag me, tag Betsy, share it with someone else who's on this journey, or who is like, maybe I want to go to Orlando in May and I really want to get eyeball to eyeball with people who care and want to get you results. Because the more we talk openly about this stuff, the more people realize they're not alone. And if you haven't already, do me a solid, scroll down and leave the show a 5-star review. It helps more bariatric patients find real guidance instead of the nonsense floating around the internet. So, as always, keep getting busy. Thanks again, Betsy.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Later, everyone.